Last question. What can the general public do when encountering someone with bipolar? Um, what is the sort of environment that we can make for my friends who have this illness and also for many other people out there?
The general public can stop being assholes. That would be great.
Like how? Assholes means like, how does that translate?
Yeah. No. I was going to answer it.
Okay. Sorry, I just shot the gun.
I just wanted to hear you laugh. Like your shoulders are so tense right now. Make it tense.
No.
Okay. So right. So in general, I think being kind helps. Just being kind really, really helps. And just this notion, right, that it's just because I don't understand it does not mean it doesn't exist, or just because I don't understand it, that is why I don't like it. Sometimes we equate the unknown with something bad, right? And the unknown might not be bad, it just might be different.
Yeah.
So and I think the whole narrative around this toxic positivity culture of sorts, right, where you have to win your world and smile in the face of death and all of those things, right, that becomes very I don't know, it becomes pressurizing. It's like, I'm trying and when somebody's like, oh, you can do so much better, it makes me feel like, am I not doing enough? So again, just being a little compassionate regarding the words, regarding what you're saying, how you're saying, maybe asking questions more than statements if you're talking about my mental health, right? Or you can share, you can say that this is my understanding of it, or this is my opinion of it also, that's cool. Impose that on me.
What can the larger public do when encountering anyone with bipolar? I think, like any other condition or anything else, what helps the most is to stay informed. Once you know exactly what the person is undergoing, who you're close to or who you're with, you'll have a better idea of how to deal with it. There's several guides available online. I often redirect people to a subreddit on reddit.com called r/bipolar, which has a whole bunch of guidelines on how to deal with bipolar people who are family or friends or loved ones or close to you. So staying informed largely helps. I think one more thing that people should perhaps not do is glorify the disease. I've often found people fascinated by it and say, oh, that sounds so cool. It sounds like an artsy kind of condition to have. It's not. It's fairly very exhausting, as I said earlier. Although it can feel great and an extreme feeling of euphoria in the manic phases, you do know what's coming after that, and it's not a nice place to be in overall. So maybe not glorifying the disease could help. On the other side of it, I have met a few people who tend to belittle it and say, well, everybody has upswings and downswings in mood. It doesn't help to argue with them straight up, but as I said, letting them stay more informed. If you just be like, yeah, I understand what you mean, but mood is different from behavior, and the frequency of a regular neurotypical person going through it versus a bipolar person. Um, the frequency and the amplitude of the thing is completely different. You can take them through a small walkthrough of what's what, and but then yeah, usually they seem to make more sense of it.
So, you use the word uh, ask me questions rather than stating statements. I'm just wondering, about the illness. I have a lot of things on my mind when you said that. Um, but what does that mean to you? Can you give me an example? Can you take me to a situation?
Um, this conversation
Mm.
is great. Not everybody has the bandwidth or intention or anything, whatever, to have this kind of conversation, which is fine. But, like, for example, say if I'm having a panic attack or if I'm suicidal,
Mhm.
uh, I would like you to ask me how you can help me instead of assuming I want space.
Mm.
I don't want space. You're giving me space because you're scared of this.
Mm.
You're giving me space because you feel unequipped to deal with this.
Mm.
But then they'll put it on you. Oh, I thought you needed this space. I said, no, ask me what I need, no? Right? So, because sometimes I don't need advice for sure.
Mm.
For sure. I don't require that. I'd like for you to listen. If you're not in the space to listen, communicate that.
Mm.
If you're not in the space to listen, it's also okay. Not everybody is supposed to be, like, I don't know, available how you need them to be at the moment. But
Mm.
it would help if you can just sit beside me. Just sit.
For the public, I would advise if you encounter anybody with bipolar to be a little sympathetic towards them, knowing that they don't control the moods that they have. Their moods are controlled by their brain chemistry, which is not fully in their control, and therefore being accommodating of the various moods that people experience as a result of bipolar.
So one of the big lessons, I think, especially my husband and especially my husband learned is each bipolar person is different. Each depression person is different. You cannot apply the same things across the board. But I think whenever you've met someone who's getting erratic or is too much in the face or seem self-centered in how they go about their issues, there is a baggage to start, maybe even start with the assumption there is a high chance of a person having a baggage that's leading, not that they are not accountable in one sense, but to know that a baggage can trigger this, just like everyone has baggages at some levels, and to have that empathy toward that. And if one knows that this person has bipolar disorder or something, to no knowledge is going to convince them at that moment that this decision is right or wrong, like, hey, think logical, and but to maybe give, like, okay, like a chance, like, okay, maybe sleep over it, or like, I get your pain, I can't imagine what it is, and maybe we'll just take it a bit slowly or something of that sort.